Welcome to Inktology. This is Josh, and today we're going to be going over my Thor and Friends drawing that I did about a month ago or so. And this is just a late video coming out. I'm going to have a couple coming out that's a little bit late, but hopefully you enjoy the content. Now, when I'm starting this drawing, I'm thinking I want Thor to be the main piece, obviously, but I don't want an action scene where he's fighting somebody, he's in peril. I kind of wanted this comical, drunkard, kind of bar fighting style Thor with his friends and people that may have the gods around in the hall, right? Kind of vibe. So I drew him running down the hall, or running from the left to the right, throwing his helmet off, drunk, and whatever reason may be, he's just heard the wrong thing and he's ticked and he's going to fight. Now this guy over here being I think it's Baldur or one of the other gods, he's just watching this whole thing go down. So whenever I'm sketching this, I'm actually in my brain thinking, okay, well, I want this section of the paper to be filled with one character, I want this section to be with another character. I kind of want to build my depth through characters and shadows, because he can be much more shadowed in or colored in with black to bring Thor more depth and more more distance away from the front. And this is just a little small trick of drawing. You just put a few objects closer, darken it, and then as you go further you lighten up the shading and stuff to kind of build depth. And here I'm kind of drawing his arm spilling a cup. I'm not doing anything perfect. This is just rough sketching. I just want the idea. I'll go in, and that's what's really good about using a 2H or an HB pencil, is that it's not too hard, but it's dark enough to make enough lines where you can remember where things are going to go once you erase all the major sketch lines. Now, in order for you to know who Thor is, I threw his hammer flying from his side, his waist, and then his helmet with the wings. And a lot of this wasn't recorded because I just got into the zone and forgot to press record. But you can see where I've developed it. We have him more drawn out. He's much more shaded. You have Thor drawn out. He's shaded. But then you have a female character to his left. That was supposed to be Sif, but you know what? I kind of messed up on the angle, everything about her. She's just a mess. I do not like her. Don't know why I continued to draw her, but whatever. Loki over here, which you just saw me sketch in, is fun. And then, a few other, like I have a leg over here hanging out, so there's the other person over here. So the hall is meant to have a few people in here, and it's just kind of a small, quick snapshot scene, like a photograph of something going down, Thor getting mad. And then I'm going to take the pen, after I'm done with all the penciling, I take the eraser, the putty eraser, the kneaded eraser, and roll it over top to kind of pull all that graphite off. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I do this a lot. So as I try to prepare the page for inking, my brain is going, okay, where are we going to start, Josh? Where are we going to start off? Usually drawings like this where the main character's in the center and there's not a lot of shadows around, or maybe there's more detail around, I'm going to start with the dead center on Thor. Now I chose the helmet because if I mess up and this is like I have like a 10-minute drawing phase right when I start inking is where I'm really scared. I don't know if you're this way, but you're kind of like, oh man, I hope these lines are gonna look good. I hope this kind of cross-hatching is gonna be right. I hope this is, I hope this is right. And you make that first mark and then you're like, oh, okay, we're already on the mode, let's keep going. And then you see it come to fruition. You see this beautiful thing come to creation, and you're like, all right, we're on a roll. But there are times when you're drawing, and I don't know about you, but for me, you'll start drawing, and then you're like, ooh, I should have not done that, and I should not have shaded it like that, and now I'm screwed because I just ruined my entire drawing. And I freak out, and my brain shuts down, and then I feel like I wasted all this time. But by starting with the helmet and center object, and then kind of moving around it, like the hands I'm doing right now, it helps me like calm down, Now the hand I'm drawing is actually my own hand. I took a photo of my hand kind of in that position. The problem was that he's a meatier guy. Thor's a meaty guy. He's not super thin and buff and all that stuff like the movies. He's kind of a chunky dude, and he's got a rage issue. He's, his hands would have been much more calloused, much more thick. And probably, definitely not these skeleton hands, because using my reference, because I have, Skeletor hands for some weird genetic reason. But I should have made thicker fingers. That's probably the best thing to do. As well as the helmet. You can see the helmet right now, the left side of the helmet. Well, I guess from the viewer, from your side, It's the right side of the helmet, I guess. But you can see that I'm making some reflections that don't really work. I put his left hand in front of the helmet a little bit to give depth, and that's important. It's important because you want to throw objects in the image that are in the foreground and the background in between to kind of build space, right? A depth of some sort, and that's what I do. Now moving on to his armor, which is more of a Celtic mixed with an Asgardian futuristic vibe. I'm just winging it here. I should have taken a reference. I just winged it, but I think it came out okay. At least not enough to where I think you're going to stress over the design of his stomach guard and armor. But it's always fun to throw in unique designs in places where usually detail isn't there. It kind of helps a little bit for the eyes to be like, oh, what's this? What's that? And that's what I kind of do here. I kind of throw in designs and then shade it and crosshatch it to build a little bit more depth in his body. Now this can get real messy, so let's definitely take it with a grain of salt. Now I'm moving on to the fabric, and originally the fabric shouldn't have been this wrinkly, and yeah, it's just very light. And I made it that way because I was just intrigued with this fabric, like an MC Hammer pants. Maybe he can go breakdancing, I don't know. But I definitely added too many wrinkles, too many fabric folds, and it just shouldn't have been this way. But once you're in it, you're in it. The thing to remember is when you're doing objects like this, I have the beer here with the foam. Try to draw the foreground first, so that way you don't miss out on putting the details where they should be. Yeah, get the foreground and then move back, it's easier. Now for Loki. Loki, I didn't want to draw. I wanted to have him as a shadow, kind of a figure that gives you this resemblance of a mischievous character in the background because I didn't draw him yet. I really want to draw him well. Loki's my favorite character of the Norse mythology. He's just the most chaotic and sinister and crazy. He's so wild. But I wanted to have him here, but I didn't want to draw him. I didn't want him to be pronounced. I wanted him to be almost like a shadow to represent more of the Norse mythology, as well as, you know, the image gives it a little bit more mystery. And as I popcorn around, I go back to Thor's armor here. And the reason why is because in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, now we're going to move into the Loki where I'm going to do shading from just horizontal lines coming from the light. Well, now I needed to build a division of light. So right now I'm drawing where the light hits, right? What I'm shading is where the shadow of the light will be. The white part right there below the pen is where the light is actually hitting, right? And this is going to, and I'm going to start shading like this so that way it feels like the rays of the sun come through the hall at different levels and in different depths. It might not make sense right now, but just give it a minute. When you see it from a full picture, you go, oh, I get what he was doing. Now, Sif here doesn't like the Sif that I drew before. And I almost want to call her something different just because I feel like I should. Now, she looks all kinds of goofy. And this is because I took no reference. I did no preparation for the structure of her. I just went in and drew her. This is why artists tell you to draw out circles and rectangles and shapes for the character, so you know the proportions, you know the angles, you know what's possible. Her head is about to snap off her body because her shoulders somehow, I mean, it's a possible look that she's doing, just doesn't look good. There's no depth to it. She is the hindrance of this image, and I didn't know how to fix her. Once I started drawing her, I had to just do it. I just had to go with her and keep her in there and just hope people go, I get it, I forgive you, Josh. And that's pretty much what I was going for at that point. And you can see though, I'm continuing to shade with that horizontal line to give that light shadow, you know, kind of look for everyone behind Thor. Now, doing all the lines through the shadows and the light, like I'm doing here, is actually easier in many ways because you can hide a lot of work that you have to do and it goes a lot faster. It's just the issue is drawing straight lines. So in order to bypass drawing perfectly straight lines with a ruler or just being super careful, I do shorter lines that I know I can control, that are straight enough to where the human eye doesn't, you know, really know that there's any kind of wiggles or curves in it. Now there will be, of course, because I'm not using a ruler and we can pick up on those wiggles no matter what, but at least when the whole picture's done, it'll be similar to like a Bernie Wrightson drawing where these lines may not be perfect, but they definitely feel intentional. And that's much easier to pull off a drawing that way than be perfect. Now, there are amazing artists that do perfection, and I salute them for that. Those images are beautiful, and they're usually, you know, masterfully done. I am not one seeking to have those kind of masterful images in drawings like this. I have a separation of my skill that I personally do, and you might have it too, where you work really hard on something that might be a piece that you might want to hang up or something, or be in a museum or gallery or something like that kind of mentality. But the rest of your drawings are at par level. Maybe if you're at 1 to 10 level and 10 being your best, you're probably shooting around, what, 5, 6 half the time, trying, hoping. Maybe if it looks super dope, you boost that sucker up to an 8 or 9, and you're like, all right, let's continue. Most of my drawings are that. They're anywhere from, you know, 6 to 7s and stuff like that. Oh my God, I did it. I said it. I did not mean to say that. Oh man, I should erase that one. Anyways, I'm not getting into that meme or that fad. So it's around there, and for this drawing, I would give it actually a 4, really, because of the mistake on Sif and some of the line work that I just kind of messed up in here. I didn't feel good about it, but I posted it and I like it because it is part of a story. You know, there is a collection here of this image, and the more I create, it'll just flood into a bunch of different images that have different story that I think viewers will like and artists will like. Now, I did say before that I wasn't going to draw Loki. I ended up drawing Loki partially. You can see that I'm shading in the rest of him, but his armor and all that stuff gets drawn in because it fits into a lower part of the light. So I kind of, you know, dumb me. But this is kind of the main process of this piece, really just drawing in most of the characters and then doing these lines. And I separate the lines to give a little bit more depth, and it just continues and continues. And I really think that this was one of the more unique ways that my drawing came together without me really trying too hard. I mean, I tried hard, but with the mess ups, it came out better than I thought, with the horizontal lines being the shadows. Once I was done with that, I went in and filled in all the other characters with as many details and lines and dark, as much black as possible, so that I can just really get the image to pop more. And yeah, I think it's coming out pretty solid. You've got these two characters in the front, and then you got Loki in the back, who's semi in the light, semi not, and it plays to his character. The details aren't too much, that way I can build him a little bit more in a real drawing, because I think I want to do a 9-10, you know what I mean, style drawing next with Loki. I just don't really know what the pose is going to be, and I don't know what it's going to look like, but I think I want to work hard on this one. It'll probably take me a couple days to do it, so you know, keep your eyes posted for that. I'm zooming in right here just so you know that none of my lines are perfect. Look at those thick and thin lines. They're not perfect. Yours doesn't have to be perfect either. You just want to tell a story and get your drawing on the page. And the more you do that, the better you get. But look at my lines. Look at that. Weakness. Ooh, gosh. Oh, I'm just getting rowdy now. I'm just getting all over the place. Don't even care. Look at this artist. Sloppy. But that's it for the video today. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as, you know, hit that notification button. But remember that doing art like this, you know, is not always about just being perfect or super detailed. It's about having fun and, you know, just being creative. If you're like Loki and you're creative, go create. This is Inktology.